Hey everyone, Zion over here from Nintendo Life, and today we're here to share with you our review of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind on the Nintendo Switch. Now, this review was originally written by Tom Massey for NintendoLife.com, and as a longtime Power Rangers fan, I am thrilled I had the chance to rework this into a video. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind is a brand new belt-scrolling beat-em-up from Digital Eclipse, a developer better known for their retro remasters and collections in the form of Atari 50 and the recent Tetris Forever. Based on the original 90s incarnation of the show, which is a Japanese-American co-production that mismatched Japanese Super Sentai action scenes with US filmed actors, Power Rangers is a logical candidate to join the 2D scrolling beat-em-up renaissance, and it delivers well beyond expectation. Rita's Rewind is a well-engineered project that stays true to both the source material and a realistic arcade blueprint. In terms of simulating the feel of the TV show, it's right on the money, with top-notch presentation, pacey story interludes, and dazzling camera sweeps over parallax-constructed terrain. Musically, it's sufficiently snazzy, reworking various recognizable themes in countless different ways, and there are even CRT screen filters on board for those required retro vibes. Whether battling off hordes of encircling putty in a blaze of acrobatic attacks, or letting loose with a signature special move, the feel of the show's frenetic fight sequences have been accurately harnessed. Stuff explodes, blazes, shatters, and ignites, all while leaning heavily into the humor of it all. One-liners, fourth-wall-breaking comedy, and a Saturday morning playfulness will rattle the inner child and even the darkest of adult hearts. The story itself harkens back to the show's genius, with Rita having built a time module that transports her back to 1993. The original cast are then thrown into a time paradox conundrum, where two Ritas are simultaneously wreaking havoc in their timeline. The banter between team members and well-known NPCs is all here too, and while some of the sound bites are overly repetitive, one can't help but smile at the many callbacks. The love is so strong with this one, and much like Tribute Games' Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, it feels like a product with dedicated fans at the helm. In terms of combat, your repertoire is nice and diverse. You can grab, dash, attack, double jump, and come down from the air with either an angled kick or a vertical smash. Your punch combo routine is limber in that you can quickly swing it backward and forward mid-flow, allowing you to sock enemies coming in from the rear before returning to your point of attention. It works well in the sense that the screen gets excitingly crowded while you stay firmly in control. You can also bounce and juggle enemies off the screen edges, which is especially fun when you catch several at the same time, propelling your combo counter substantially. The most integral mechanic, however, is the dodge somersault, which is an absolute essential for certain boss patterns, cagey enemies, and incoming projectiles. With all of these elements combined, the stage is set for some versatile, while not overly complicated fisticuffs. Elsewhere, there are power-ups that will temporarily speed up your ranger and grant invincibility, and each character has a gauge-regulated signature special that gloriously decimates the screen in times of need. Rita's Rewind is a reasonably challenging game, featuring tons of bosses with unique attack patterns to navigate. It's both longer and tougher than Shredder's Revenge on the default difficulties, requiring active reflex and well-timed dodges to navigate its pitfalls, and it's all the better for it. And if that was all there was to it, Power Rangers would be a decent arcade-style homage to the 90s TV show. But by Stage 3, things switch up considerably. The 2D side-scrolling format is suddenly ditched in favor of a dazzling pseudo-3D rampage where the Rangers, seated in their combined Megazord, give chase into the screen, firing guns and missiles with explosive results. Here, you'll need to jump over obstacles, avoid lasers, and then go head-to-head in a Megazord fistfight against Goldar, dodging his fireballs. For people with a love of 2D gaming, all of this is nothing less than spectacular. Riffing on the look of Sega's superscalar technology, which they used in the likes of Afterburner, Outrun, and Rail Chase, the whole thing really cooks, and it's not a one-off either, returning throughout in the guise of haunted theme park roller coasters and chaotic motorcycle chases down war-torn highways. The variety doesn't quite end there either. Throughout the adventure, there are plenty of obstacles to destroy, some useful in smashing foes out of the way, others revealing health items, and even character cameos from the show, and certain collectible mementos will give diehard fans a real buzz. The time rewind aspect certainly isn't just in name either, with Rita's minions regularly throwing vortex machines into the fray that require speedy destruction. Failure to do so results in a 10-second action rewind, requiring you to start the process all over again, but thankfully the damage inflicted to the machine carries over. During the campaign, you collect scattered coins, and between stages, a press of the X button will take you to the Juice Bar Hangout, where you can chat with NPCs for a little comic relief. There are 3 added machines beside the wall labeled out of order, but finding arcade parts hidden in various stages will repair them, and each arcade cabinet offers a retro minigame to play, and this is where those coins come in handy. We especially enjoyed the Kung Fu chopping one, and they're all really authentic score hunting diversions that break up the overall action. While Streets of Rage 4 had plenty of gamers sitting upright, it was really Shredder's Revenge that kickstarted a renewed interest in the 2D scrolling beat-em-up, and Power Rangers Rita's Rewind can't escape some comparison. The tactility of the combat isn't quite on par here with Turtles, feeling that bit snappier and more accurate. Rita's Rewind is certainly good enough, but there are times where you find the need to slightly adjust your plane to land blows, with a touch of fuzziness around smacking certain objects and enabling grabs. There's also very little diversity between the Rangers, who all command the same movesets. The only difference is in their aesthetic and individual speed and strength balancing, and like most in the genre, it does become repetitive and could have used a few more enemy types to mix things up. The absence of wieldable weapons, too, is always a missed opportunity where variety is concerned. On the whole, though, there are few real complaints. Even though its replayability factor is questionable, those outstanding superscalar stages are a one-up on TMNT, and just about any other scrolling beat-em-up in recent memory. 6-player multiplayer, as one would expect, is a predictably messy all-out blast, but there is no online co-op functionality on Switch at launch. This is promised in a future update, though. Considering that Power Rangers games have more often than not been middling to poor, Rita's Rewind is a pleasant surprise. It's been given a lump sum of attention and love from a development team that's at one with the source material. And if its obvious polish wasn't enough, it's a game that really understands the arcade format and goes all out with dazzling superscalar action stages that work well to stave off the genre's naturally repetitive nature. There are a few aspects to the combat that could have been tweaked, but with its humor, lengthy 15-stage campaign, multiplayer hijinks, and heavy-duty 90s charm, Rita's Rewind is probably the best Power Rangers game we've ever played. You know, we think it makes for a pretty Morphin time. We here at Nintendo Life give Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind on the Nintendo Switch an 8 out of 10. Now, since you're still here at the potential tail end of the video, that probably means that you don't mind hearing a little bit more about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind on the Nintendo Switch. And since I grew up loving this era of Power Rangers and have quite a fondness for the beat-em-up genre, I'd love to share some of my own experiences with this game as well. Everything that Tom wrote for his review of this game, I completely agree with, front to back. And as somebody who hasn't really delved into the Power Rangers series in many, many years, I haven't gone back and watched the shows. I have one of the graphic novels sitting on my counter over there, detailing like the Lord Drakkon story arc, which looks just absolutely crazy. But I haven't really like watched the movie. I haven't played any of the Genesis or the Mega Drive or the Super Nintendo games in years. But the enemies, the boss encounters, the music, everything just pulled me back to that time in my life when I loved the Power Rangers more than anything else. There's so many little things that caught me off guard. There's such an incredible attention to detail. So if you're a fan of the Konami arcade beat 'em ups and Power Rangers, you absolutely owe it to yourself to give this a go, especially if you have some good friends to play with. I managed to sit down and play this with my brother and another friend on separate occasions, and have only done 2 players so far, and I've had a blast with it. But I've tried to progress a little bit further on my own, and I've had quite a tough time with it. Now, I'm by no means great at side-scrolling beat 'em ups, so that might be my issue, but if you're planning to play this solo, just recognize that you might not have as much fun with it. There's a certain charm that comes along with playing these games with a pal, shouting for them to go grab that power up because they're low on health, or let me take those coins because it raises my special points, or whatever. It's so fun to have that back and forth with a pal while playing these games. So Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind gets a big ol' thumbs up from me. Now let us know in the comments down below if you're planning on picking up this game. Maybe you already have, because look at that, it's actually out now. And let us know if you're not going to for one reason or another. We'd love to know. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this, then why don't you morph that subscribe button into a classic side-scrolling beat 'em up by giving it a good old tap with your mouse, your finger, whatever. Why don't you just check and see if you're subscribed to Nintendo Life, because you enjoyed this video, right? You're still here. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you to Tom Massey for spending so much time with this new Power Rangers game. I'm Zion from Nintendo Life. Stay safe out there, and we will see you all next time.